Hello everybody, I'm Conquering History Games, and welcome back to part 2 of my Serbian Black Army campaign here in Hearts of Iron for the New Order. So let's keep going here, and we're not going to be taking any of these things just yet. If we spend any political power, we're going to do it down here. It's just the assassin going after Hitler, not our business. We do something like secure control. It's always good to have stability, and things like that. I'm gonna let's maybe kind of look down the road here. Present elected officer candidates. Present revolutionary security reports. Developmental results. Hitler has named Bormann his successor. More of the same, it would seem, as they say. You know what? Let's scavenge for some loot. That's what we need to be spending things on. Let's get the loot. Let's work on these other things here. It's going to be interesting fighting here in Central Siberia, because from all the other unification wars that I've ever done, it seems that Central Siberia is what tends to unify first, generally speaking, but it also is a bit of a free-for-all, where you end up with, you're at war with more than one nation at the same time, and more than one nation ends up in that situation. So, could kind of go either way. Alright. Yuri... Excuse me, I got something in my throat. Yuri Galenskov rubbed his hands together for warmth. On his sides, burly giants covered enough body hair to substitute for a goat had formed a protective barrier against him. As they approached the building, Yevgeny had been nudged out of the circle. How he wished she hadn't. Yuri had faced assassination attempts before, but the idea never really scared him. It almost enticed him. Dying for a cause he believed in, but dying before he could accomplish his goals, shook him to his core. The Black Army stood at his side, prepared to die on the dirt they stood on. He made a mental note to thank them, even if their service was completely voluntary, and as Yuri might add, unrequested. He caught himself smiling more and more often, unbothered if it harmed his reputation as a leader, as his friend Ivan Stepanov warned. Ivan is, this guy, our infantry leader. His warm face contrasted the cold hands that pushed dramatically against the doors, demanding silence throughout the room. Yuri made his way down the aisle, shaking hands with the packed-in people, laughing and reminiscing with recognizable leaders from the communes on the other side of the territory, and solemnly nodding to the stories of the gray-haired, the widowed, and the childless. Free people of Russia, he shouted. I have promised to Ivan that I would be brief in my opening remarks, and we know it is wise to avoid irritating him, flashing a thumbs up to a not too amused Ivan Stepanov. So let me say this, even if this meeting is fruitless, know that every day we live without the rising sun, torch, or swastika flying over us, we have won. Liberation. One meeting at a time. Isn't that nice? Okay, convene the Security Council, and we can also now get ready for a raid against the People's Revolutionary Council. This will probably determine a lot of how this game goes, is how well my early raids do, even more than in other games. Because I can get through some failed raids. Frickin', I think it was when I did the Zukov run. I was losing raids left and right. I don't know what was going on. It was very strange, but we should be okay. Alright, what have we got down here? Yeah, secure control. Let's do that first, and don't want to do war planning, don't want to do a political campaign, but I think industrial investments might be good. We have just received an ultimatum from Krasnoyarak. We will not back down, I will have you know. Let's wait a minute here so we can kind of get in position. Okay, yeah, so now all this General Assembly stuff is open. We are not going to do any of this just yet, because that means oh no, I thought that was something that didn't help me. Or what's this? Despotism. Ah, so if you empower the communes instead of empowering the Black Army, yeah, either way, it's like you're getting free something back and, increasing the power of your people. So it's like it's an investment. So there's no reason to not just do this and then do something else right away. Okay. So let's get in position. We will not back down so easily. And we're going to also say institute the raid Let's see if we can win 2 raids here very quickly back to back. I doubt it, but we're going to try. We're going to try to be treaky breaky. Oh, the People's Revolutionary Guard, they just straight up caved. Get wrecked. Nice. Okay. So we want to... I always am getting the 2 industry things mixed up, but I think it's the power tools we want to fix up first, right? They're kind of both good. Well, right now, industrial equipment is like not going up at all, so let's do that first. Import new industrial equipment. Great. And we're scavenging for loot, and we're about to win this fight. Very good. I think we're about to win this fight. What's going on here? Come on. Yeah, so we'll get loot from here, and then we're almost done scavenging for loot in 5 days. So, very nice. Hold on. What is going on here? Another 5 days estimated, 4 days. Alright, hold on. Stamp, lick, seal, envelope after envelope. So this is Ivan. Repeated the same mantra to keep pace. After the 20th, he fell to the rhythm of the record player droning on in the background. Stamp to the 8 notes, lick to the quarter, seal to the half. Ivan appreciated patterns. They say pattern finding is what makes people human. It was nice to feel human now and then in between being a glorified mailbox, taking in the information from different Black Army detachments and sending back responses. Something was off in his rhythm. No, it came from outside, the clicking of boots on tile. He could recognize the footsteps from... excuse me. Footsteps from kilometers away. Companion Stepanov, it's time to go. There he was. No one really understood how Andrei Misharenko ended up in a position of power, or how he commanded such respect and power among the people, but Stepanov assumed it was because he represented the Russian people best. Vitriolic, grizzled, old. Oh yeah, I think this Andrei Misharenko, this is the one who takes charge in the post-midnight Black Army. Or at least one of them, because there's 2. But the despotic one is this guy. 4 attack skill, huh? And an infantry officer. Interesting. Might actually be a better choice than Ivan. Ivan's more defensive-minded. Okay. No one really understood how he ended up in the position of party. He'd been everywhere along the Western Front, receiving distinction in his struggle against the Finns. As the Union collapsed, so did he, breaking down in Kansk, his hometown, which is our capital. Are there others out there? Valentin and the other members of the Security Council. The old man nodded, holding his hands behind him. Chepyev will be late, but that means he'll show up as Golunchkov does. Without the Security Council, the Free Territory would be chaos. Alright, time for the 3rd Congress of Kansk. It's the linchpin, connects the Far East with the rest of the nation. It's the greatest example of the success of our anarchistic experiment. Every few years, representatives from across the lands of the Black Army convene. We can reflect on what has been achieved since the day of our foundation. Okay. I guess we'll get reflecting then. 5 more days. Hang in there. Hang in there. 2 days. Looks like Yagoda's winning over there. Oh, actually, it could still go either way. Nice. Time to clean up the corpses. So we should now get an extra loot, right? Oh, no, we don't get loot for defending. That's right. Still! Good position. Okay, so do I want to do any of this stuff? Decreases consumer good factories. None of that really matters when we have so few right now. Factory industrial capacity, construction speed, production efficiency gain could be good. Let's wait on this. I got a feeling I'm not going to do some of this stuff until I'm a little more united with the rest. On the other hand, this might be the best time to do an industrial investment. Logistically, how are we? We're fine. We don't have any manpower, though. Yeah, we've got a couple of problems here when you get right down to it. Yeah, this is an issue. Real issue. Army professionalism, what's it at right now? Disgruntled veterans, very bad. Well, you know, not horrible, but it ain't great. Hold on. What's the difference between these two? Yeah, organization. Organization, but this hurts max planning, which it doesn't do up here. Weird. Maybe army professionalism's not that huge a deal. You know what, let's just keep going. We're going to save up a lot of political power, and then we can start to take a lot of this stuff quickly once I make my decision on what I'm going to do. Because I know what I want to do, but I'm trying to think about how I want to do it. Data cohesion, wiretapping, preemptive security. You'd think it would be anarchic, but I guess that political power loss would be too much. We do have the Security Council, I suppose. City of Oz. Nadia reached out to touch her breath as it hung in the air before her. She attempted to bottle the gas, capture it in her fur mittens, and take it with her, to no avail. Nadia was surely smart enough to know that one cannot capture the air they breathe and stow it away for later, and if she wasn't, her grandfather who walked beside her certainly couldn't have. There was a certain magic to the city of Kansk, an indescribable feeling as long as she kept to the sidewalk of this city. Anything could happen. So I guess I gotta get a little circulation going on in this room. Look here, Albin gestured to one of the infinite identical gray shops. I don't know if she still lives there, but there was a woman. He trailed off on a story. Every rock reminded him of a person who reminded him of an experience which would remind him of a battle. Didn't he see what was in front of him? They were in Kansk! In Kansk, city of revolution, the first stepping stone in a global movement of liberation. How incredible. Well, I don't know whatever happened to Svetlana. Can't remember if she was the one who went out to try and join the fascist party, or if she was the one who ran and won in Tomsk. Either way, all I remember is you had to spit in her soup just to give it some flavor. All the blood shed in Russia is worth this moment. Dang, had to spit in her soup to give it some flavor. That's an interesting turn of phrase. I suppose it doesn't really matter what happens here, although there's this election day. We're going to elect army officer candidate. Another proud tradition of the Serbian Black Army, following the beliefs of the original Makoshinika and all true anarchists, is the democratic election of all officers. Instead of blindly abiding by traditional autocratic command structures, every commander made by the people to protect the people is elected democratically. The soldiers' assemblies are responsible for that process. Any officer can be recalled at any point. We have succeeded in perfecting this process to the point where competent men rise to the top through the choice of the troops. As the Third Congress of Kansk progresses, we must show the state of the military and those at its helm. Thus, those elected by the soldiers' assemblies shall make their appearance in the Congress to be presented to the communal delegates and discuss other matters. Somebody tried to assassinate Edward VIII. Like anyone would care about that guy anymore. Okay. Military-focused research. Okay. Libertarian socialism. Okay, election day. Name? Companion Mikhail Stepanov, sir. Though I suppose you know that already. The voice of the frail, pasty young boy trailed off, his eyes darting from spot to spot so as to avoid those of his father. Ivan Stepanov steepled his hands before him. I'll take the liberty of assuming you're aware of why you're here today. The boy nodded quickly. Stepanov gestured off to Galenskov. For the sake of the companion's desire to keep a good record of all meetings, I will allow the prospecting officer to recount his story. Mikhail's eyes widened in shock, his mouth slightly open, ready for the words to come pouring out. But finding the well dry, Mikhail took a few deep breaths and regurgitated the lines his father had prepared for him. I oversaw the resupply of a commune at risk of famine. The situation was getting pretty bad. The sentence was more of a question than anything else. He spent the whole time looking to his father for approval and only receiving a cold, unloving face. Then the worst possible thing happened. Questions began to roll in, first from Galinskov. What was the response from the community? Great! They were really pleased. Small village, though. None of them could make it. Then Marishko. And during this time, did you notice any saboteurs from the Republic or the Soviets? Whoever was nearby. Right. Well, not that I saw. Mishkorenko frowned and the boy adjusted course. But if I did, they would have been shot on the spot. Finally, Stefan Valentev, the most senior member of the Black Army. So, companion. Mikhail, you said? What did you actually do? Mikhail opened his mouth to answer, but was cut off by his father. That's plenty of questions from the council. Lots of prospecting officers today. I motion to vote. Companion Mikhail Stepanov, you are hereby elected to officer. Oh, okay, so it happens no matter what. Alright. Interesting. Interesting. I'm learning here, guys. I'm learning with y'all how this goes. Yeah, this General Assembly thing. I think some manpower is called for. Let's do that. Okay. The army is the backbone for protecting our liberated lands. If it wasn't for them, we would have never broken the chains, and we would still be under the totalitarian empire of Yagoda, or the democratic state of Central Siberia. But it's difficult to synchronize and harmonize. Security reports outline the local situations. With the Third Congress of Kanks taking place, security reports can be important to show the big picture in Central Siberia and how it affects the anarchist communes. Unity in dealing with the threats we face is massively important in the chaos of Russian warlordism. Okay, okay. Interesting. Well, we're just kind of waiting now. Yeah. When are we going to be able to raid again? Nah, it doesn't look like we're getting anything there. Not for a little bit. It's like every three months, right? Really? Does nobody we neighbor have loot? They don't! Wow, nobody's got loot. It's all gone. Even from Tomsk, so I guess Novosibirsk or Kemerov must have taken it from Tomsk and they haven't scavenged a new one yet. Well, it's a little annoying. But yeah, there's the People's Revolutionary Council fighting part of the entire Co-Prosperity Sphere. I wonder what that's about. And if they can actually take any land or if it's just if they're going to get killed or not. Uh-oh. Whoop, May 1st, International Workers' Day, but we're good. We're good. No problems, no issues. What is going on here? Okay. Okay, an extensive list of grievances. Deep within the halls of the General Assembly, tucked away in the often unseen back rooms, a man stomped on a hoof, marching straight past the people. Demolished everything gone from that hunt, and it was only the first day. The second day, some bastard from up north brought a wild whole pack of dogs into my fucking farmland. Have you seen the damage 30 wolves can do? How will I provide for my children? For the children of my neighbor? It is my duty to provide for the entire fucking village. Pavel and his fat sow wife couldn't grow crops if they walked into the soil themselves. What are going to... Are you even listening? In all honesty, Arkady hadn't been listening from the beginning. Had they even expected him to? He would nod, they would grumble about his swift death, and life would go on. His wife was kind enough to accompany him at least. She was a fool, though. She listened, she nodded along, but did so with strained eyes, focusing on each word said and jotting down notes simultaneously. Situation is not untenable. It's abhorrent. You possess a beautiful spirit, one that wraps itself around this land and shields us from the threat of utter annihilation. Okay. Oh yeah, Yevgenia Tartuta. This is the other one who can, in the post-midnight thing, become a leader. Alright. Your golden... Oh, Mila, your golden tongue is unrivaled. Bring this to Demyan. He will assure grain is relocated to your community. Thank you for bringing this issue to our attention. Thank you. I wasn't expecting any action on this, let alone that fast. Content, the man turned around and promptly left. Are you proud of that one, Mila? She nodded, still lost in her notes. I had hoped so. The line is extending into the hallway. A long night ahead. Okay, when are we going to get to decide who's what? You know what? I think I know what we're going to do now. Because it doesn't seem like we're getting via events. I'm sure we later will via events get some choices here. But here's what we're going to do. I'm going to now discuss what is the decision I've made. Oh, we could do a raid here. Let's do that. And also prepare for a raid. Hold on. So the question is, do I go despotism or do I go anarchy, which we already are. Now, April has sort of been communism month, so I am leaning anarchy. However, if we're going to do anarchy, let's do some freaking anarchy. You know what I'm saying? So check this out. You know how, like, there seems to be one or the other for all of these, where you could do civilian infrastructure, military infrastructure, you could do volunteer programs or conscriptions. You know, you've got one side and another side, you know, that are in conflict with one another. And I don't know how many of these you can repeat over and over again. So what we're going to do is I'm going to decide one of these. Like, let's say I go, you know what, we got to work on our industry, which we do. I'm going to RNG it. We're going to have some true anarchy here. We're going to do some coin flips or dice rolls or something. Now, I want there also not to be anybody saying that, like, oh, you know, this is rigged or whatever. I will show the coin flip each time. So, let's see here. Where's that flipacoin.com or something where you get to, like, pick different coins from around the world? That's a fun one. So, yeah, we'll get moving forward here, and then while we wait to get to the 25 political power, we need to do that, then, you know, we'll do that. And let's see if we can do each one of these. Although I'm noticing the Black Army discipline is a separate thing that doesn't seem to have a oh no, this is militia reliance. Yeah, these two go together. Yeah, so these two. Yeah, everything's got an opposite. So that's what we're going to do. So are we going despotic or anarchic? I don't know. Kind of both. We'll have to wait and see. So let's see. Oh, all right, so coin, flipper, pick coin. Let's try to find like a Russian coin or something. An imperialist spy, it has to be. The ideologue. Oh, it's our little traveler across the nation of Russia, or the nations of Russia. An imperialist spy, muttered Yuri. Has to be. The ideologue of the Serbian Black Army had been pacing up and down his room, flicking through the pages of reports that had trickled in from the border communes. An American, they claimed, had penetrated the border with a Russian guide, most likely a reactionary collaborator, and had been visiting the communes. Yuri studied the papers again, his eyes skimming over the Cyrillic type. This stranger was spinning an outrageous story about being a tourist, which was likely simply a thin cover for a CIA operative. Maybe, interjected Stepanov, he's just a tourist. Honestly, Yuri, I respect your spirit, but I doubt the CIA would send a college student who clearly hasn't seen a day of war or labor as a spy. Galinskov's eyes narrowed at his military counterpart's words. Perhaps he's here to spread authoritarian propaganda about how wonderful his capitalist hellhole democracy is. Yuri's reply seemed far less fiery than his initial words. Stepanov's assessment cooling his collar. The ideologue's face softened. No, Comrade Ivan, you are probably right. Still, it would be best to detain him and ascertain his true reasons for being here. He smiled slightly. Perhaps even arrange to have this tourist given a tour of our way of life, ignite the fires of anarchism within him that he might carry it back to America. Stepanov nodded. The idea had merit, but it wasn't up to either of them to decide. Such was the way of anarchy. Oh boy. So then we can kind of start here with our generator. Okay, so I'm going to use random.org/coins. Is there a Russian coin here anywhere? There's like European Union coins and stuff. Okay, well let's go with the Todd Redding Decision Maker coin. So we're gonna bring it back here. All right. Okay. So I pulled it up. I haven't actually flipped it yet. That's just what spawned. All right. So. We'll say to hell with it is free reign, and then the other one will be Black Army looks at him. Okay, you flipped one kind, and we got to hell with it. All right, so to hell with it indeed. I don't like that timestamp's on there though. Anyway, we'll go ahead and give him free reign. By the way, let me know what you guys would think about me doing, because I can pull up all the events of that American going across Russia, and if he makes it across successfully, he then goes back to America and he writes a book and there's an international event about it. What would you guys think about me going through and reading, not every single event because there could be multiple choices, but me like reading one event of each travel as he heads west? I don't know what order it goes in. I think he starts at Magadan, and then I'm not entirely sure where he ends. I don't know if it's like at Onega or the West Russian Revolutionary Front, but what would you guys think about me making a video of just reading that? Entry 10, the Free Territory. Ah, yeah, you see, so this is the guy writing. Me and Zoya have been in the Siberian Free Territory for about a week now. Lots to write down. In the States, I was always taught that anarchy was a bad word, like total chaos. This anarchy isn't what I expected, and I'm having a hard time sorting it all out. Everyone lives in communes and are led by councils, which are elected by the locals. I made the mistake of asking if that made the Free Territory a democracy, and some young guy in a black and red hat started yelling at me in Russian. Zoya translated for me, and this dude was going off on me about how democracy was just a veiled authoritarian mechanism, whatever that means. To their credit, people seem generally content with the way things are, but the reactions to me have been pretty mixed. I've been stopped a couple times by excited villagers who smile and take pictures with me, but just as many times I've been jeered at, spit on, and I swear that I've seen uniformed men following me. I don't know what to make of this place. The people are definitely free, but the way they define freedom isn't something I'm used to. They share everything with each other, have total gender and sexual equality, but also live under a military junta. I came here not really knowing what anarchism was, and I don't think I understand it anymore now. They have the freedom to be free, but not much else. And off he goes to whatever is the next country he does. So, yeah, y'all let me know if you would be interested in me reading a lot of his entries. I'm not going to read them all. I think there's like 100. Because there could be different things for different places. And like, he could die along the way. That's why he doesn't always make it. I think he could die or he gets imprisoned and things like that. But it'll be pretty cool if he gets across. Okay, so we can now initiate this raid, which I will. Go, anarchists! Initiate the raid, damn it. They're wait till midnight or what? They refuse tribute. Right, I always forget they have to choose whether or not they're going to do it. Uh-oh. Ah, the Croatian Autumn. Good luck, Tito. You're going to need it. Never seen him win once.